Hi, welcome back to PG Pythons. My name's Ben, and this little character is Ned. Now, Ned's looking a bit dull and a bit wrinkly because he is soon to shed, and I'm hoping we're getting a slight tinge of green coming in, that he will start going through the ontogeneric colour change. Green tree pythons are superb. They're generally speaking quite low maintenance, always on show, so really good display animal. Lagatha, who I featured in the previous video, is doing extremely well. This little character has been a little bit more of a struggle, shall I say. I never feed him by waving the mouse in front of him. Just doesn't like it, sort of stresses him out a bit. And so what I do is I just leave the mouse in a frozen forward mouse, obviously, and the bottom of the cage, and he actively goes and hunts it in the evening and gobbles it up. And he's doing rather well on that, so for those people out there that sort of panicking because theirs are not eating, sometimes wiggling in front of the snake can probably stress it out. Sometimes just try and leave it overnight. Anyway, the story I wanted to tell about this little character is because I've kept snakes for a long time, and I think the last time I had an escapee was about 30 years ago, until last week. So initially I thought, and I, bearing in mind, I think all my enclosures and all my vivs and everything are pretty well secure, and including his enclosure. Now, because I've tried to make it slightly more naturalistic, I've added more sort of fake plants and one real plant, and so looking into the viv at night, I didn't think it was out of the ordinary for him to be slightly out of sight, maybe within some of the plants and things. Didn't think too much of it. The next morning I would have expected him to have been perched on one of the perches in the cages, and he wasn't there. So actually fearing the worst, thinking, oh my God, he's probably, died or something's happened. Maybe he fell off the perch and he's no longer with us. I started to take things out and realised he actually wasn't in the viv at all. I'm just thinking, how the hell has he managed to get out? Well, lo and behold, looking at the setup, I had two holes coming in for the light and for the thermostat probe, and I believe he must have gone through the thermostat probe hole. It would have still been quite a tight squeeze, but he managed to do it. I had a little bit of panic going on trying to find where he could be, because as you can see, he's so tiny. Looking, behind my desk and in warmer sort of spots and things, and went to sort of look for my torch, and as I did that, I went out of the room and just spotted a tiny glimpse of yellow down in the dusty wires of my sort of broadband and other sort of electrical sort of stuff in our hallway basically. And there he was, just perfectly happy, not really cold or anything. In fact, as soon as I picked him up, he was pretty active. So is a lesson learnt for me to, when you've got an animal this small, to really make sure I cover all the bases. So now it's got no chance. I've used the good old aluminium tape to cover up those holes, and he's I think none the worse for his little adventure, but I'm going to make sure it doesn't happen again. Let me just introduce you to Littlefinger, who's my male stud muffin, Woma python. I'm just about to get these guys ready for breeding, or the breeding season, so we'll be starting to cool them down a bit over the coming months and start introductions in December. It seemed to work quite well, though. I was unsuccessful with the hatching of the eggs, but at least I got plenty of locks and everything. I'll just try and there we go. Oh, they are handsome. Whee. Good little snake, this. So Littlefingers now, I think about five or six, about 6 years old now, and it's got this beautiful stripe, dark stripe that goes all the way down his back. I'm also handling him really because nearly all the other snakes fed last night. I was going to give just a brief update on the Boelens. They're both now eating medium mice, which is a lot better. It feels a little bit more substantial because they seem to they eat and then they sort of basically have a crap only a few days later. I mean, the whole system for them is quite quick. Some of my other snakes, they're not quite as frequent on that. So I've upped the size of the food, and they seem to be pretty happy. But the big thing was, and I previously had said in my last video, was that I was going to move to using orchid bark, which was kind of recommended to me by somebody else who's keeping Boelens. And as you can see, I've added the orchid bark to the vivs. The male is deep in blue at the moment, so is about to do his first shed for me, which is good. What I'm liking about the orchid bark so far, and I've tried to make it a little bit more naturalistic in there because I had it quite simplistic, which was probably the sensible move whilst they were going through quarantine and sort of establishing themselves. What I'm really liking is the humidity. The humidity is staying, around the 70% mark, without me having to really add any spraying or anything like that. The male, who's normally really active, obviously is not really making most of the viv at the moment, because he's sort of hiding in the little humidity box. Though I call it a humidity box, it's literally it's just a white python laying box, which I've just got sphagnum moss in. It's probably relatively dry, the sphagnum moss now, because it's it's never been saturated, but he's making use of it, which is great. So fingers crossed I get a nice complete shed from him. But they're both doing really, really well. Before I disappear, just a reminder that if you haven't already, please subscribe, maybe hit the bell button. It doesn't cost anything. It just and also please write comments and those sorts of things, because I love to engage with people, and on this platform find it quite handy. I love our community. Thank you to all of those people who have subscribed so far. I hit 250, which I'll be honest with you, I'm really, really pleased with. I know that there's lots of people out there who've got thousands of subscribers and things, but it's not really all about that. If anybody can go away and see a review on one of the products or that type of thing and make an informed decision when they before they make a purchase, then that's exactly really what I want to be doing. Now, just on that, I'm just going to give a bit of an update on the Retics and Reptiles radiator panel. So bear with me, I'll just go and pick that up. So here it is. This is the updated Reptirad from Retics and Reptiles. I did a bit of a review when they first came out, and they've extended the range now. So you've got a 40 watt, which will go up to, will heat up to a 3 by 2 by 2 foot viv. The 80 watt, which is the Reptirad 80, which I've got here, which would do 6 by 2 by 2. Then there's a 125 watt, which would do 8 by 2 by 2, but also 6 foot by 3 foot by 3 foot vivs. And then the largest in the range is the 220 watt, which would do 8 by 4 by 4 vivs. So it's absolutely amazing to have a heat panel that does that sort of range, which is great. Now, one of the things that I'm really pleased about, and this is why it's so cool having a UK company doing on the ball with their reptile products, is they really truly did listen. One of the issues that you tended to have with some of these, well, a lot of reptile products, is with the wiring, because you're trying to get through, you're having to make a hole for the wire to go through in some cases. If they've not got a mesh top like these IM cages here, and that meant invalidating the warranty, because you're cutting the wire or damaging the product. So I'm going to open this up and just see exactly what they've done to solve that situation. Just bear with me. The box comes nicely packed again. It's got some padding in there. And a little bit messy if I'm honest. So this is a similar size to the one I've currently got in use. Let's put all that down. Get a little card. Packaging announcement. Yeah, it's all about being a bit more greener. I can live with that. It's great. And also some clear instructions on where it goes through. Now, this comes here. It says it comes with a 5-year manufacturer's warranty, and contact these guys if you if you want to use them. Now the significant. So I'll just close my door in it. So slightly updated front a little bit. So nice with the green sort of stuff here. But this is the significant difference. And this is effectively having an inline connection. So now you only have to do well, actually it's this one, this end, a very small hole through the back of your viv, and you don't need to cut any wires. And this is, for me, it's going to make a big difference. The other thing is, this is really long. It's 2 meters long, so not a problem if you've a bit of a distance away from where the plug's got to go in. Other bits, just remember it's only 1.8 centimeters in thickness. which is really nice and makes it really nice and slimline. And there's nothing for the snakes to get into. You don't need a cover for these, which I'm using with my green tree python. You know, you literally don't need to. So I think all in all, just brilliant that they've actually listened. When you are unpacking, it's wrapped in some bubble wrap, and inside the bubble wrap are a set of screws. So it does come with screws to enable to put this into the top of the viv. Now, one of the key things it does say is with the inline connection, you need to make sure that this sits outside, it's connected outside of the viv, which I don't think is any problem because this is so, I mean, it's tied up here with a bit of wire, but this is so long anyway. It's absolutely perfect. So that makes complete sense because you wouldn't want your snake to get hold of that and unplug it and expose some electrics. But this is a great, you know, I will get round to eventually, because I use heat panels on all of my vivs, apart from 2 where I've got the, I'm using infrareds. I will gradually move to these. They just feel really good quality as well. A great company, and now we've got a really good range of different panels. It's even better. So well done to Retics and Reptiles. I think it really is good that you've evolved the product. I look forward to seeing more products coming from you guys in the future, but this is absolutely brilliant. So thank you very much. Hopefully you found this useful. Again, please subscribe, hit the bell button. I'd also appreciate any comments, because I like to sort of do some form of giveaway when I hit 300 subscribers. Not sure whether that should be a product or you know, stuff I've featured or that type of thing. It won't be a Boelens python, so don't comment on that, but welcome your thoughts on that. Anyway, thanks again, thanks for watching, and look forward to doing another video soon. Take care.